Also, as you may be aware, the Flower Festival is coming up in a week and a half. This news was met with a few cheers and as everyone started to pack up. Since you have the day of the festival off, our first exam will be the day before. There were no cheers this time. Romance is wonderful, believe me, I know. But try not to let the festival distract you, okay? I'm glad I found you. He didn't look angry to me. In fact, he was giving me an odd, lopsided smile. I wanted to make sure you weren't hurt or anything. You ran off before I could properly apologize. I looked down at my feet. I was embarrassed enough that I ran off crying like a little girl, but to know that I made them feel bad was even worse. At the same time, the image of my ruined uniform plopped into my mind. I couldn't tell whether I was more angry or embarrassed, or whether I was feeling something else entirely. I got you pretty bad, didn't I? I think I ballerinaed too hard. He tilted his head to the side. It's a shame you're not wearing the uniform from yesterday. I like the pink splotches on you. It matched your hair. Sorry, I didn't mean to upset you. We're members of the Hidden Bot Club. The Norm Boots is our rival in tournaments. So we were just wondering.
Greetings and salutations, my beautiful person.
I'm Kid Icarus, and this is Jimmy Wetzel. You can call me Caddy for short, though. Everyone does. Everyone? Jimmy cast a knowing glance in Caddy's direction, and Caddy grimaced. Almost everyone. But beautiful? Thank you. Don't mind him, he tells everybody that. Because everybody is a beautiful person. Ouch.
Hey, guys!
Hey, guys. Gerard skidded around the corner, panting as if he ran the entire way. In fact, I didn't doubt that he had. I see you met Hana. She's a new friend of ours, so be nice to her, alright?
What?
Would we ever be anything but nice?
Whatever.
Last year's tournament would beg to differ. That was one time, and that was only because Shane ate my pizza. Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
Later, guys!
Anyways, I don't want to keep you. I was giving Hannah a tour of the campus since she's new here. Well, it was nice meeting you. I hope we'll see you around more.
Bye!
It was nice meeting you. May and I arrived at Poppy Hall the next morning, and it immediately became apparent. Something clear. And immediately... May and I arrived at Poppy Hall the next morning, and immediately became clear. Something changed. Posters stretched and nausea-inducing neon colors were plastered on the lockers. Several students gathered to take a look. Oh. My gosh. We walked over to one of the walls to get a better look. Is that Jared? When May didn't respond, I turned to look at her. The expression on her face told me that her mind wandered somewhere that would have made a call girl blush. May, you're drooling. That seemed to jolt her out of her fantasy. She lifted the sleeve to wipe away the drivel on her chin. I am not. What are these posters for? Well, last year Jared put on a fashion show. It looks like he's doing it again this year. I didn't know Jared was into fashion. May shrugged. He's not. I waited for some type of clarification.
He's so cute.
One time in biology, I saw him take off his sweater and his shirt got kind of stuck to it, and he pulled up, and I swear he had like 20 abs. I waited in vain.
Good morning.
Hello, ladies. Oh no. May and I whipped around. There stood Jared in all his glittering, magnificent glory. May's face turned a blushing pink. The most beautiful guy in school. I see you're admiring my totally sweet posters. Yeah. They're really something, Jared. I like your abs. With sudden soul-crushing realization of what she said, her expression twisted into a mixture of horror and disgust. Jared was unfazed. Thanks, but Hana, it was actually you I wanted to speak to. Why would he want to talk to me? Yeah, okay, what's up? Jared looked expectantly at May. She didn't move. Realizing she was in trouble, I nudged her with my elbows as subtly as I could. May, would you go get me a soda? I'm really thirsty. Without a word, May scuttled away. Jared turned back to me, a cool glint in his eye. He seemed used to the effect he had on women. I wanted to talk to you about the fashion show, actually. You're new here and all, so you probably don't know. But every year I like to put on a little fashion show to showcase my modeling skills. Wait, what? You know, just to make sure people don't forget what I'm capable of. He reached in his pocket, pulled out a stack of glossy photos, and thrust them into my hands. I stared at them in awe. I flipped through them, starting to notice a pattern. As you can tell, my beauty is something that simply can't go to waste. I like to hold a fashion show here at Asagao Academy to ensure that everyone gets their yearly dose of Pro Jared. I flipped to the last photo, heat shot up my neck into my ears. Surely this was some kind of joke. I shoved the stack of photos back into him, wiping my sweaty palms against my shirt. What does this have to do with me? Ah, that might have been a touch rude. Jared, as smooth as ever, simply smiled. I think you have potential, Hana. He suddenly leaned in close to me, so close, in fact, that I could smell his cologne, a musky, sweet aroma of earthy scents and ham? Potential for what exactly? Jared shifted his mouth close to my ear so I could feel its heat. For greatness. He reached into his shirt pocket and retrieved a small slip of paper. With quivering hands, I accepted it.
All right.
My card, my number's on the bottom. If you're ever interested, I could teach you a thing or two about modeling. I stared down at the card in my hand, feeling that if I looked away, it would disappear. By the time I gathered courage to face him again, Jared was gone. Feeling quite dizzy, I headed for class, a business card strangled to death in my white-knuckled hand. That's 2 phone numbers in 2 days. Man, I'm good at this. By the time I got through the milling students into the classroom, May was sitting at her desk, face down and completely still. I took my sheet and twisted around to poke the dejected May-shaped heap. She didn't budge. May. I heard a muffled groan of despair.
I can't believe this.
I'm such a social disaster. No, you're not. I tried to sound comforting, but I was never good at this sort of thing. May finally lifted her head from her desk. What's that? She motioned to the business card that was still in my hand. I set it in front of her. May appraised it for a long minute with a blank face, if I set a rare artifact in front of her that she didn't actually believe was real. Then her eyebrows pulled together. He gave you his number? Well, yeah. Sort of. I mean, not really. He said I should call him if I want him to teach me how to model like him. It was embarrassing to even say, and the words felt awkward in my mouth. The moment I said them out loud, I wished I could grab them back and swallow them. I expected May to give me a once-over before making an off-the-cuff comment about how I wasn't nearly pretty enough to be a model. But she didn't.
Yeah!
He, totally wants to get with you. Her tone was so matter-of-fact, I gaped.
What?
What? No, he doesn't. Why would you say that?
Bingo.
Okay, Hana, I've taken enough sex ed classes to know when a guy fully wants you, and Jared, fully wants you. Mortified, I snatched the business card back off her desk and shoved it into my jacket pocket, turning away. My cheeks felt like they were on fire. By now, the classroom was filled with students. They chattered amongst themselves, but the white noise of their conversations wasn't loud enough to drown me out. Out of the corner of my eye, I could see John and PWG seated in their desks at the back of the classroom. Talking serious grabby hands in the back of Dad's Camaro here. You're going to make babies with Pro Jared, Hana. Little, glittering Jared babies. No, I'm not. You're totally crazy. I don't know what you're talking about. Miss Shizuka, like some kind of angel. I can be your devil, or I can be your angle. Like some kind of angel, cleared her throat at the front of the class. I exhaled gratefully and sunk down into my seat. When class finally ended, May and I headed for the cafeteria, the incident forgotten in her hurried attempt to explain Miss Shizuka's scandalous last relationship.
Sure.
Seriously, he spent all of his time trying to choose between her and some dead chick who only liked him because he looked like her ex-boyfriend. I mean, who does that? We got our food and hesitated in the middle of the room, looking at the normal boots table. Neither of us wanted to go up and demand a seat, especially after wiggling our way in the day before. What if they changed their minds? But Satch, noticing us standing like lost lambs in the middle of the room, waved us over. Hey girl, how was class? Oh, you know. Normal? Like normal boots. Ha 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 ha! A joke! Satch nodded and turned away, having been in the middle of talking to Josh. That was awkward. Despite how familiarly he treated me, I still didn't know how to talk to him, or any of them. I looked across the table and locked eyes with PPG, who stared at me like I was a baby German shepherd. You...
Alright!
Cookies! What?
Oh, sick!
You brought us cookies? You're the best, Gerard. Paul sprang out of his chair and practically tackled Gerard. Whoa, calm down. There's more than enough cookies to go around. Gerard started passing the cookies around the table, but paused. You're back again. He looked at May and me. I tried to ignore the disappointment on his face. Well, here. He handed us each a cookie, then headed back across the cafeteria. I stared at the small chocolate chips melting in the warm cookie. Did he not want us here? But he was so nice yesterday. I didn't even want to eat the cookie, not if he was willing to be as two-faced as that. Hey, watch where you're walking next time. A sheepish Gerard stood next to a short, skinny boy who was holding his tray above his head. I'm sorry, I'll be more careful. You're from the normal boots. Wait, you're the guy who plays with itty-bitty kitties, aren't you? The boy sneered. How the heck did you manage to get in with a group like that?
Huh?
They're my friends. Playing with those stupid dolls? You're an embarrassment. The kid's friends were hitting his shoulder, looking from Gerard to our table with panicked eyes.
I like what I like.
I think they're fun. Shh. Whatever. The kid was let off by his friends. Gerard came back and sat down at the table. That was weird. Gerard sat down and began happily munching on his cookie, looking for all the world like he didn't even care about what just happened. I scanned the cafeteria for the boy who heckled him and found him sitting alone at the table, head in his hands. His friends left him behind. What was that about? Oh, that? I used to get it all the time. I collect itty-bitty kitty figurines. You know that kid show with the 5 kittens who live in Kitten Town? They were originally supposed to have magic powers, but whatever. I collect their figurines. They're so cute. I've almost got them all. I'm only missing Princess Pumpernickel. She's the rarest. Why was that guy making fun of you? Doesn't it bother you? I was afraid of bringing up bad feelings, but Gerard just shook his head. It looks kind of weird, right? A teenage boy collecting toys meant for little girls? But I like them, so I don't let it bother me. Sorry I didn't bring enough cookies the first time, Hana. I forgot that you were joining us again, but I'm glad you're here. I bit my lip. See, Hana? He was being nice the whole time, and here you were, jumping to conclusions. Hey, your cookie will get cold if you don't eat it. I unwrapped the cookie. A sense of chocolate and cinnamon hit me. I broke off a piece and popped it into my mouth. Gerard whispered something into Nick's ear, who started laughing so hard milk came out of his nose. Was he really okay with people making fun of him? I couldn't believe it. I didn't believe it. At my old school, people made fun of me every day. It was terrible. There was no way he could just brush it off like that. Not when I tried that so hard to do the same. But as I finished the cookie and started on my ramen, Gerard continued to laugh with the rest of the normal boots. I wondered whether it was impossible as I always thought.
Oh no.
Hana, can you pass me some pepper? I got it. Here, Jared. Thanks. What's your name again? It's May.
Nice.
Thanks, May.
Hana!
Well, Hana, ready to head back? Huh? Oh, yeah. Did May look sad, or did I imagine it? We threw our trays on the racks and headed out of the cafeteria. As we waved to normal boots, Gerard cheerily waved back. A sudden pang hit my stomach. Was it guilt? After class ended that day, May said she had volleyball practice and sped off. Thankfully, this time I knew where I was going, so I headed straight back and collapsed on my bed. It was nice to have some time to myself. After everything that happened, I felt like I was going crazy. I could use some relaxation. I didn't have a computer or a TV, and the book Satch gave me was really good, but sometimes got a bit hard to read. Instead, I took out my phone and started flipping through the App Store. Nothing really looked good. Wait, what was this? I sat up. Dumby-Doom's Revenge. Face off against 3 other players as you catch monsters, raise them, and use their unique skills to aid you on your puzzle-solving quests. Only you can save the meta world from its ignorant king and utter destruction. Now with a single-player campaign, raise your crops to feed monsters. If you're lucky, they'll transform into cute girls. What the heck? It looks so stupid. But it couldn't hurt to give it a try. I downloaded it and started up the game. Welcome to Dumby-Doom's Revenge. I skipped the intro sequence and quickly hit single player. Loading. The load times were terrible. Suddenly, a cartoonish hill valley met my eyes, panning over to a white castle nestled next to a cliff. A lazy king lay asleep on the throne when a squat silver soldier ran into the room. King Dumby-Doom, quickly, we're under attack.
Oh, just send the 1st battalion off, please. I'm rather tired.
Night left, and the screen faded into a world map showing a horde of black blobs on the right side of the screen. A small group of knights ran up against the blobs and were instantly devoured. One of the black blobs split out a helmet with a skull inside. What the heck is this game? Things continued this way, with the king sending off his battalions haphazardly until no one was left. The king awoke in his chair and turned to the screen. You! Me? Only you can save my kingdom, please! I don't think I can save your kingdom. You're the one menacing it. How dare you! What the heck? Could this thing hear me? You are no longer my advisor. Go back to your home village and let me deal with this myself. A tiny sprite with brown hair flew across the world map, bouncing into a bunch of red houses. I guess my only choice is to raise an army of monsters myself, overthrow the king, then raise an army to fight the oncoming bloopity-bloobs. How the heck did you come to that conclusion? Finally, I was allowed to play the actual game. A dozen multicolored blocks appeared on the screen. The monsters I was initially given could only hit their corresponding colors. I couldn't activate any traps. Supposedly, more monsters could eventually learn how to set traps, and you could do certain combos to hinder the opposing team. If you had an attractive girl on your team, she could use the ability to double the rate of your opponent's blocks or have their clock time. But that had a drawback for you too, as it could be used by an asset by the opponent. Not to mention that certain color combinations between girl and monsters activated unique secret abilities, and you could also evolve your monsters and feed them things. How the heck am I supposed to remember all of this? I failed the first few times, but quickly got the hang of it. It was just about being adaptable and maintaining a flexible strategy after all. My eyes started to hurt and I looked at the time. 8 o'clock! It had been 4 hours? I had reading to do. I grabbed my textbook, flicked my radio on, and began to read. There have been many tales of times when the moon has fallen on other planets, the most popular of these being the myth of Termina. However, these myths have never been proven to be more than a hallucination. My eyes blurred over my astronomy textbook, and I yawned. The Schubert piece floating from my radio made me want to go to sleep. I toyed with the idea of going to class without finishing my reading. Who cared how many times the moon was supposed to fall? Especially when time travel was involved. Hana? May burst in through the door, flung herself across the room, and grabbed my radio. Hey, where have you been? What are you doing? Give me a second, we're missing it. There we go. But I swear that dog was the living worst. That's why you need a bird like my lovely Jacques. Watch your tongue. What is this? Shh.
Hey.
So, the time has come to make an official announcement. This year, just like every other year, the Normal Boots Club will be participating in the video game tournament.
Yeah.
Woohoo! Yay! As PBG applauded, as though he were a crowd of 30 people, I shot a puzzled glance at May. I hope you guys will support us again this year, and best of luck to our competitors. You guys are going down! And now for some music. May turn down the radio inside. Okay, what did you want? What was that? PB&J. It's PBG and John's radio show. They have a radio show? What do they do on it? Oh, you know, they talk and stuff and play music sometimes. Everyone in school listens to it. I'm so glad you brought your radio, and I forgot mine at home. And a video game tournament. Yeah, didn't you hear them talking about it the other day? No? Come to think of it, I hadn't paid much attention to their conversations. I was too busy worrying about myself. Every year they have a game tournament down at Hickabana Mall. Lots of people come to compete, but everybody knows the real fight is between Normal Boots Club and the Hidden Block Club. Is that what they do? Video game tournaments? Yeah, that's why nobody's ever joined them since their inception. Well, I guess they're partly a group of friends who just happen to make a club together. But also, unless you're really talented, you just drag them down. Ouch. Not all of them are so harsh, but some of them, well... May glanced away, and I felt like I knew who he was talking about. That's too bad. The conversation I had before with Jimmy and Caddy came to mind. Had they really thought I was joining the Normal Boots Club? There was no way. I hadn't played a video game since I was a kid. My father gave me a 4DS when I left home, but... The night before I left home for Asagao, my dad came to visit me in my room. I had packed the few things I owned into a briefcase in a single cardboard box set to be shipped with the train. I sat and stared at the box, somewhat bitter. I barely even needed it. I didn't own much. Hana? Yeah, Dad? My father stood in the door in front of me, a weary smile on his face. Even though he tried to hide it, I could see by the deep wrinkles around his eyes and forehead that he was tired. Sad. These few years had taken their toll on him, and I hadn't eased things. You'll be leaving tomorrow? Yeah. A heavy silence hung between us, filling my childhood bedroom like styrofoam. Are you excited? Yeah, I am. He nodded and glanced around my room. The pale blue walls, the broken clock above my old desk, scuff marks around the door frame from where I ran into it as a kid. I lived in this house almost my whole life, ever since moving after kindergarten. It was everything I knew, but now it was too much for me. The decision to transfer to Asagao didn't come lightly. First, it was a prestigious institution with a highly prized reputation. Blech. Only the best of the best, touting either great grades, impressive talent, or lots of money could get in. I was none of those things, but I made it in regardless. Part of me suspected I was a charity case. I received a small scholarship, and it would no doubt look good for the academy to have fostered a poverty-stricken child in its walls. And despite the fact my father couldn't afford it even with the scholarship, he guaranteed he'd support me if I went. I looked again at the wrinkles in his face, his sagging shoulders. He pressed his hands against his body to hide the way they looked. They shook, I should say. All for me. He'd be all alone. I'm glad you're going. I think this will be good for you. Yeah. I wish I could say something else, but nothing came. Well, honey, just in case you get homesick, I brought a present for you. Present? From his pocket, my dad produced a shining pink Nintendo 4DS. And placed it into my hands for you. But why? How? Dad, this costs so much. You're already killing yourself to let me go. Why would you? Tears spilled from my eyes as my dad smiled. Nothing is too good for you, my dear Hana. His voice was trembling. You're my pride and joy. You deserve so much better than you've gotten from me. Dad, go to Asagao. Have fun. Make lots of friends. And when you get homesick, play with that. It'll make do. I stood up and hugged him, burying my face in his scratchy sweater and oatmeal smell. I miss you. I'll miss you too, my dear little Hannah. But the thing is, he forgot to give me a cartridge to play with. Now I glanced at the machine hidden behind my desk lamp. May watched me carefully. Well, you never know what could happen. What do you mean? May giggled. Nothing at all. But I just got back, so I've got work to do. Work, right. PWG and I still had that project due, and we hadn't met to discuss it at all. He said he had it under control, but I should probably make a backup plan, just in case. It wasn't that I didn't trust him, it was just that... Okay, I didn't trust him. Sighing, I worked a kink out of my shoulder. It looked like it would be a long night. Ugh. What was that noise? Stop it, please. I'm coming. Who on earth would do this so early? So early in the morning, in fact, it wasn't even light out. I quietly padded over to the door. May shifted in her bed. What? It's about time. Who? Oh, honey. She pushed past me and swept into the room, flipping on the light switch. Paul and Nick followed after him. Hana, I just feel terrible for ruining your uniform. Sincerely, we owe you an apology and a clean uniform. I'm not so good at that kind of thing, so I brought a friend to help me. Josh pulled open my drawer and tossed out clothes left and right. Oh my god, stop. That's my underwear. What's wrong with you? I ran to him and grabbed his arm, trying to pull it away. These panties are so cute. They're perfect for you. Get away from there! Where's your uniform? I ducked behind Josh and pulled open a drawer, pulling out the sticky fabric. Here, take it! I threw it at Josh's face, but he caught it with ease. This is no problem. I promise I'll have it cleaned in no time. Girls? He snapped. Follow me! Paul, Nick, and Josh swept from my room. They didn't head towards the hall exit. Instead, they turned left, heading deeper into the dormitory. I didn't have a good feeling about this. I stepped into my slippers and ran into the hallway just in time to see the door to the girls' bathroom close. Oh no. Ah, what are you doing in here? I sprinted towards the bathroom door, but before I could get in there, Paul and Nick slammed into the wall across from the door. Men like you are the worst. Whoa. No, this was all a misunderstanding. Please. I'm sure it was. No, Mimi, it really was. Wait a second, where's the other, person who was with them? She's doing something with a uniform in the sink. Mimi tossed her head with a sniff and headed back into the bathroom. She actually thinks Josh is a girl? She wouldn't be the first. Josh himself believes he's a girl. That wig is magical. Well, stay out of the girls' bathroom. It's not exactly going to help your platform if word gets out that you're a pervert. A shadow fell over Paul's face. I sighed. Don't worry, I'll talk to Mimi. Go. Go back to the boys' dorm.
All right.
Thank you so much, Hana. Yeah. I watched them scamper away, then headed into the bathroom. Hey, Joshualina? You and I should probably get going. I rounded the corner and found him doing Mimi's hair. In a second, Hana. I've got to finish this. Hana, have you met Joshualina? She's so good with hair, and look, she even got the stain out of this shirt. Mimi held up my uniform. Really? Thank goodness. Thank you so much. It's no problem, honey. I guess I'll let you finish, Mimi. You won't tell anybody about Paul and Nick coming into the bathroom, will you? Why wouldn't I? Well, as class representatives, they were just trying to help Joshualina get her bearings. They were showing her where the bathroom was. I should have been the one to show her, but I was asleep and they didn't want to wake me up. Oh, well, I guess it's fine then. Thank you. I stood staring at them, unsure of what to do next. Do you mind? I need to concentrate to finish this. Oh. I'm sorry. I went back to my room. Life at Asagao never got easier, did it? May was still asleep when I got back. There was no way I was going back to bed, so I changed into my uniform, grabbed my bag, and went to class early. My plan was to get started on the project Miss Shizuka gave us. As sincere as PBG was, I wasn't sure he'd held up his end of the bargain. I stepped into the classroom and went into my seat, throwing my back against my desk. A small snap came from across the room. Shane was at his desk, giving me a look. Do you mind? I'm trying to work. Oh, I'm sorry. I looked to the door. It was too late to leave, but I didn't want to be stuck by myself with a guy who clearly hated me. I sat down at my desk and looked at my hands. This is the quietest place I can find in the mornings. Really? Not the library? Shane shook his head. I see. I'll try not to bother you. He shook his head again. You're fine. Do whatever. It'd be awkward if I just sat there like that. So, what are you working on? Shane looked at me, and for a moment I thought he wasn't going to answer. Then he waved me over. I crossed the room to his desk and looked over his shoulder. Several sheets of paper with lightly sketched outlines lay in front of him. It looked like they were for comics? You draw comics? Yeah. What about? He shrugged. Whatever. He said it with a touch of finality, so I skipped to another topic. Do you mind if I ask where you're from? Shane gave a heavy sigh. Could you not tell by my accent? I'm from England. This is my second year. Oh. He continued to draw, etching in the lines of a British flag above what looked to be a government building. Do you miss it? He finished shading a line before responding. I guess. My whole family is there. You're by yourself? Why did you come here? Class will start soon. Don't you have something to work on? Ouch. Taking the hint, I went back to my desk. Suddenly the door slammed open. Hey, look what we got here early. Wonderful. Oh, Hana, Shane, looks like it's just the four of us. We should stir up some trouble. Trouble? Let's plant an egg on Miss Shizuka's chair, eh? I bet she'd think it was hilarious. No. Ah, come on. I bet I could find an exploding bird or two to dive bomb us during class. No. I bet you could probably bake her a cake. Filled with knives. The heck is wrong with you? Shane was more than an ocean away from his family and friends. I was only 2 hours away from my dad, yet I missed him so much. Was Shane homesick at all? Alright guys, that is where I am going to leave it. Thank you so much for watching. If you liked, leave a rating. If you want to see more, subscribe. Be sure to share this with people who you might think like it. That was a sentence. So, yeah. See you guys next time. Bye-bye.
Burn it.